You know, I want to apologize that I keep interrupting Linsey so much. It's that when you know Bilderberg planned this, kings and queens and Rothschilds and Rockefellers meeting, and you go there and you get the death threats and you get arrested and you get the information, and then you get it from Lindsey Williams, and you know it's real, you know it's happening, you know they've orchestrated this worldwide crisis, they admit it in their own documents. I just want to back up everything he's saying. I mean, I remember him talking about Dubai was going to be a ghost town back in July. How many months ago? August, September, November, December, January. And we're talking 6+ months ago. And it was up at that high when he said it. And I go back to what the sources at Bilderberg said. They were going to run it up to 150. That was insane when that was said, but it happened. We have the inside track. We put out the accurate info. And we have ways to defeat the globalists through states' rights. But it's up to you to take action with it. Now, Linsey, I'm going to give you the floor, and I want you to, again, walk through, recap everything you were just saying without me interrupting, and then get into the latest info. And because, you know, you talked to him for hours on the phone, but that's how it works. You laid out what he told you, and that story's the same. But as things happen, you get more and more of the picture, because now it makes even more sense what he told you. So you've got the floor. Continue.
This is all planned by the elite. Let me assure everyone out there in Alex Jones' audience, in InfoWars, folks, everything you are hearing Alex Jones say is true. Believe every word you hear every day. It may sound unbelievable. It is believable. I lived with these people for 3 years. I know they have it planned. Now let's go back to Dubai. Dubai is one of the Arab oil-producing countries. This man told me when Dubai was at its glory, building a 5-star city such as nothing has ever been built before on the face of the earth, the tallest skyscrapers in the world, and he said to me, Chaplain Williams, one of the reasons we're taking the price of crude oil to $50 a barrel, and by the way, crude oil yesterday was $33.80. They have gone way below what this man told me they were going to take it to, and because of this, it has had catastrophic results around the world. Dubai, building this beautiful 5-star city, and workers have come from all over the world to Dubai to be construction workers in that city. Now it's a ghost town. The skyscrapers have stopped. The concrete contract with an American concrete company has been canceled because Dubai is out of money, and as a result of this, in Dubai, let's say, for instance, you're a worker, and you go over and while you're there, I want a new Mercedes. Oh, I'm making big money. I'd like a Rolls Royce. So you go and buy it on credit. And you can do that in Dubai. Well, that's fine, except that if you don't make your payment, they don't do like they do it in America. They're not going to forgive you a loan. They're not going to give you a bailout package like happened yesterday by our president. No. In Dubai, they not only come and get the automobile, they come and get you. You go to prison along with the automobile being confiscated. As a result, these workers who've lost their jobs by the thousands, they are sitting on the airport right now in the parking lot in Dubai City, 3,000 automobiles that workers left parked, left the keys in them, got on the airplane and left so that they wouldn't lose both their hide and the automobile. And as a result, Dubai City has done everything that this individual told me back 5 months ago, 6 months ago was going to happen. It has become a ghost town. You see, they have planned this thing worldwide in order to do what they wish to accomplish. Now let me tell you what's going to happen in America and point out what is happening right today. Now, folks, watch this. I hope you have pencil and paper and you're taking notes. This man said to me, this person who knows everything, 82 years of age, he knows everything the elite are doing. He said to me, after I'd been threatened, and I agreed to go along with what he said, and there's certain things I couldn't even say on Alex Jones' show today in order to keep the sanity of my household and my family and keep myself in keeping their word. He said to me, he said, Linsey, he called me Chaplain. He said, America will see a financial collapse that will be so great that it will take years to come out of it. At that time, we didn't have the bank crisis. We didn't have the real estate crisis. We didn't have the big bailout packages we've got right now. He told it all to me ahead of time because they had it planned exactly as you've been hearing Alex Jones say on his program day after day after day, folks. I wish I could shout it into every one of his homes today. Believe everything you are hearing Alex Jones say. Even if you have trouble believing it, you believe it anyway, because he's telling it to you in advance. Okay, here it is, in America. He said America will see a financial collapse so big, great it'll take years to come out of it. I'm going to tell you what happened yesterday. The Dow Jones stock market down 297.80 points at the close. The president signed the bailout package because America is in such horrible condition, and the Dow closed at 7,550 on yesterday. You tell me we're not in trouble? Now, let's go to oil. Oil yesterday went down to a bottom of $33.80. Do you realize that the oil-producing countries of the world, now this is everybody from Venezuela to Nigeria to all of the Arab countries, even to Mexico, our neighbor who is about bankrupt, and oil is their major staple, and, well, apart from drugs. And then, of course, the United States of America produces a certain amount of oil in Alaska, and Alaska is in big trouble financially now because of the tax shortfall. Do you realize that the ramifications of $33.80 oil yesterday literally brings the world into bankruptcy so that the elite can own every bank, can own the majority of the real estate, they'll own nearly every mom-and-pop business. And when I give you in a moment one other thing is taking place in Eastern and Central Europe, you are going to be devastated. And I'll give you this firsthand, but let me go on with America first. Oil, $33.80 yesterday per barrel. It was 147. They have lost 3/4, 75% of their income. Somebody loses it. When oil goes down that much, the seller doesn't get it. The buyer doesn't make it. The oil companies will eventually go into a problem. And, you know, I said 35 years ago in my book, and I know I'm going back 35 years now, an oil company official told me that eventually the oil companies would be nationalized, and it's written in my book, Energy Non-Crisis, and for 35 years I wondered how they'd do it, and I couldn't even see it for 35 years' time. I'm not even going into that today, Alex. That's another whole show within itself, because they're the biggies that nobody thought they could ever be taken over. You read it in my book, Energy Non-Crisis, for those of you who have it. So oil closed on yesterday at $34.97 a barrel. Now, let's go to what David Walker, the former Comptroller General of the United States of America, he controlled the currency for a long time. He's now retired. He said, America's unfunded liability, folks, please write this down. America's unfunded liability is $66 trillion. He went all across America trying to tell people what was going to happen because he foresaw what the elite were doing, and he dared to tell it. He said that includes the national debt, that includes Social Security, that includes Medicare and Medicaid, unfunded liability. Now, $66 trillion is more than the entire gross domestic product of the whole world. More than the whole world's gross domestic product. That means the output of the whole world does not equal our unfunded liability, because the world's GDP is only $65 trillion. Folks, this is so catastrophic and so big. The elite have planned this so well that they have it to the point that they can literally own and control the world. A dozen people. Can you comprehend a dozen people controlling the world?
Chaplain Williams, let me just interrupt to add some small caveats to back up what you're saying. And this is on record. The central banks of the world dominate Western nations. They set up fiat currencies. They buy up the majority of the world. They trick the Arabs and other oil producers to get into leveraged derivatives where they can make 10, 15% a year. Most of their money's invested in that. They're leveraged. Then the bankers implode the world real estate market. That's to hurt the average person, and then local communities to further implode us so they can buy us up. Imploding the oil is meant to shut down all the other nations that are based on that. And then out of this, the Financial Times of London, Wall Street Journal, Time Magazine all say that there will now be a new world order with one global bank that owns basically everything and gives everyone credit. And with that comes the control of the government through the private banks, giving you your paycheck, putting money on your national ID. They're now announcing this will be how they save us. So they destroy everything so they can force engineer society and put strings into everything we do. So that's how they have pumped up this massive bubble. This is how they're doing it. And then cities like Dubai that have been built with the, just like a palace, like Star Wars or something, so futuristic. All these other major cities that have been built up, all the construction, all the resources, the state governments go bankrupt because of the unfunded mandates. Everything goes bankrupt. The globalists come out with their new global monetary system, controlling all the currencies under one system, and they have total control. This is the economic setup. They set up globalism to get us all interdependent, to get us all into debt, to deindustrialize all the major free nations, to fully have control of us and have us institutionalized. Please continue.
Just this morning, I read over the majority of, it took about an hour, to read over the majority of the giveaways in the stimulus package that was signed on yesterday. I shuddered. The average American didn't have the slightest idea. Now, jot down 2 words for me. Number one is tax structure. Because of the price of crude oil going from 100